CEO Ronald Hickler from Creating the Difference. Got my man Billy Revs and the Melee Jab Carbon. We're going to do this in the dark with clutch bowling. Let you see kind of what's going on. Got some tracers out there, so we'll be able to follow the ball path as well. Fresh house pattern. Billy Revs giving us a little peek at it. Not a bad shot. That ball obviously had a little bit of hook to it. You can kind of see too, he actually played that ball close to the oil line, right? So he was in the oil on the front portion of the lane, and the mid portion got just to the right outside of it, which is where you actually want to be if you're looking to try to create some area. Therefore, if you miss in, the bowling ball will hold, and if you miss to the right, the bowling ball will hook. But that ball hooked a little bit too much, so he'll have to make an adjustment off of that. So we'll be able to track that adjustment and kind of see what this ball does. Got a little further right. That one did not come back around the corner, so that's interesting. Now he was in, right? He's in further. You can kind of see that he was definitely in to the front part of the lane and got it further to the right, but it's just a little too much. So he'll probably need to split the difference there, and that'll probably be where he'll want to be at in order to take full advantage of the lane pattern with the new Brunswick Melee Jab Carbon Bowling Ball. Splitting the difference, and that's where it's at, 10 back. So there you kind of figured it out. You can kind of see that too. Definitely, we'll just go up there and take a peek. You can kind of see where he was playing at there to be able to get that bowling ball to the pocket. Have him throw a couple more shots there. We'll actually go with a little bit of a lower angle this time. You can kind of see what this ball's doing. Flat 10 pin there. So you need a little slight adjustment. This ball seems to be, this is a fresh pattern, so this ball seems to be a little bit out of its element, which is, that's fine. Bowling balls are meant to do different things. Definitely seems to be a continuous ball. It's smoother, not very angular, which is good if you're trying to read the pattern. So we'll have him make another adjustment. He'll make an adjustment off of that 10 pin. We'll also go to a high angle so you can kind of see what's going on. That was a ring 10 pin, so that's interesting. We went flat 10, ring 10 with that bowling ball. And you can kind of see that actually was a pretty good shot. Interesting for sure. Tells us a little bit about kind of what we're seeing. We're going to go ahead and clear those shots off and get us a fresh set of data to look at. So we're going to make those go bye-bye. Start over again. Now, I'll also tell you this. If you have a flat 10, ring 10, that's a huge sign that this is the wrong ball for this environment. So we would actually have to change the surface of this bowling ball if we wanted to use it. As a matter of fact, we may just do that. See if that comes back. So that did come back. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go, have him throw another shot first. And then we may look at some TruCut sanding pads. We may touch the bowling ball up a little bit, get some of that polish off the ball, because I believe that could be maybe hindering the usability of this ball a little bit. We'll find out. We'll find out. That's a little in. No, that's good. So that was a little bit, and you can see there's a little bit of room for error there, right? You got a little room for error, and the ball's able to strike. So really, he was just in the wrong part of the lane to start with. Now he's in the right part of the lane and being able to take advantage of that. So I'll have him throw one more shot. That's in even more. That's not gonna hold. Yeah, that's to the face. All right, all right. So I'm gonna have Billy actually sand that bowl. We're gonna use a TruCut 3000 grit pad. We're gonna knock the surface off, and he's gonna show you actually how to do it. So you can use a TruCut conditioner on the pad, and you can sand the bowling ball. The cool thing about conditioner is it's actually going to not only allow the sanding pad to last longer, but it's going to give you a little more of a consistent cut too. So he's just going to go around the sides of the ball twice. He'll go around the top and then he'll do that again, flip the ball over and do it on the other side. Now, you can do this before or after bowling. You can't do it while you're bowling, obviously, but you could do it before. Now, in this case, let's say he's practicing, right? So if we were practicing and he saw this was happening to his bowling ball, he wanted to change his reaction, he could do that then too. But you can't do it once competition begins. Now, here's a little side note. Some people don't know. Competition begins when the first bowling ball's been thrown for competition. So let's say you're bowling in a 50-lane house and the practice is now officially over, and then somebody on lane 47, you're on lane 2, somebody on lane 47 throws a bowling ball. That's when competition begins. So you cannot alter the surface of your bowling ball once competition begins. Not necessarily because you haven't thrown a ball or your pair hasn't started bowling. Once anybody in the building throws a bowling ball, competition has officially began, and you are no longer allowed to alter the surface of your bowling ball. So that's a little extra piece of information you may or may not have known. So while he's finishing that up there, and he's just gonna, the best part, look at that. There's no real dust and debris too. So you could do this in a settee area and not make a big mess. Really, really important deal. We only have to bow down to 3,000 grit, just kind of the surface off of it. And we will have him throw some more shots, and we'll take a peek and kind of see the reaction difference here. All right, ball is nice and dull. Not too dull, just enough to allow us to see a little change in reaction. I think what that's going to happen is going to allow him to have a little bit more consistency of the reaction, plus it'll allow him to have a little more room for error, but we will find out here together. He's stuck on that shot, no problem. That doesn't count. We won't hold that one against him. So I would also encourage you too, if you get a chance, I mean, play around with the surface of your bowling ball if you have it, because it's a good opportunity to kind of find out more about what that bowling ball does. It's also an opportunity for you to have a better understanding of when to use surface. A lot of times people are scared to use surface because they don't know what the ball's going to do. But at the same token, really the only way you're going to find out is if you go out there and try it. So don't be scared to try some different surfaces with your bowling ball. Well, that's way further right. And you see that was the furthest one right yet, and it almost came back. Now he did 2-8-10 there, but that also tells me that we may be in the right area with that ball, meaning that he'll be able to create some room once he kind of gets that kind of corrected there. So I think we're going to be able to see some improved ball motion usage once he figures out where to play at. He missed one in, he missed one further right. So we're kind of going to split the difference more toward the right side and see what happens. Well, that's where the other balls were. And you can see now that's 4-penning. That's good. So that's a really good sign. So what that tells me is that the bowling ball now definitely is stronger than it was before, because that was a shot that was similar to the ones that were striking before we altered the surface, which means he will be able to have a little bit more room to the right. Now, the question is, the more room to the right, does that mess us up in terms of being able to have hold? So we're going to find out. Let's see, that's wide right, but it comes back. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So that's what I was talking about. So he's got more room to the right now, simply because there's a little more surface on the ball. So now we know he's got more room to the right. The real question is does he have hold? Because if he doesn't have any hold and he just created room to the right, that may be okay if you're used to missing right. But obviously, if you're looking for the best possible score, you actually want a little bit of both. So we'll have him throw another shot and we'll kind of see. But that shot definitely recovered, whereas if the ball was shiny, there's no chance that ball's recovering. So see, that's more in. Yeah. A little bit more in than the prior shot. Not a lot, it's a little bit, but that ball was 10 back all day long. So I think now you're being able to kind of see a little bit of the benefit and the value in just altering the surface of your bowling ball. I mean, here's a situation where slight alteration has allowed us to be able to create a little bit more room right, for sure. And we haven't quite seen if we got it left yet, but we'll find out here in a minute. So that one's in. That one's definitely in. and we left a flat 10 pin. So you don't have a whole lot of room in, but nonetheless, you definitely have more room to the right, which ultimately means you've got a better ball motion in this capacity than we did when the bowling ball was shiny. So now you've got some more information. We'll have him throw one more shot, but you got more information about this new bowling ball from Brunswick. Maybe something you want to add to your arsenal. Obviously, you definitely want to make sure you have some sanding pads at your disposal, as well as some of the TruCut hand-applied polish powered by Turtle Wax, in case you wanted to get the bowling ball back to being polished and you thought that reaction was better. But this kind of is a great way for you to be able to see the difference in ball motion. Let's see if that comes back. Yeah, he didn't like that one. He stuck with that one a little bit too. So no worries, no worries. We got to be able to see the point, which is definitely, it's important for you to be able to understand a little bit about the surface of your bowling ball, altering the surface of your bowling ball prior to competition to be able to get yourself the best reaction possible. With that being said, on behalf of Billy Levan, I am CEO Ron from Create a Difference. Talk to you soon.